Good morning, everyone. So today we're going to learn a little bit more about box and whisker plots. Like I said in the instructions, this video may be similar or different to the two videos that I had you watch yesterday. So I just want to make sure that we go over this in depth because box plots is the hardest graph that we will learn about in this unit of statistics, okay? So when I say box and whisker plots, I am not talking about a box and cat whiskers. That's not the kind of box and whisker plot that I'm talking about. Before we get into it, we do have some important vocabulary. The first thing we want to know is range. Now, we learned about range a little while ago, so this one should have been easy. Range is going to be the difference, meaning we're subtracting. It's the difference between the highest and the lowest point. Okay, so remember, it's like you're trying to find, if you're a sports person and you're trying to find your throwing range, you're going from the highest point that you can throw. So if you throw 37 yards from ground zero, you're taking your highest point of 37 and subtracting your lowest point of 0 to give you this 37 yards that you can throw. Okay, so you're taking your highest point and subtracting your lowest point. And the next thing we want to talk about is this is called an interquartile range, okay? And you'll see the abbreviation of it is IQR. Let me go back. The abbreviation of interquartile range is just going to be IQR, okay? Standing for interquartile range. And that's just going to be, you're going to take your quartile 3 and you're going to minus your quartile 1. So again, we're subtracting. So with both of your ranges, all you're doing is subtracting. You're just subtracting different things. Now, your lower quartile, which is also going to be your quartile 1, lower quartile is quartile 1, that is going to be the median of the lower 25% of your data. Now think about it. Quartile also sounds like quarter, which is 25 cents, right? And if I made a quarter on a grade, then I would have made a 25. A quarter of something is 25% of something. So your lower quartile is going to be the lower 25% of your data, the median of that, where your upper quartile, which is Q3, will be the median of the upper 25% of your data. So it's like your Q1 is representing 25 cents of your data in essence, and Q3 is representing 75 cents of your data because it's the upper 25%, okay? Your lower extreme is going to be the lowest point. Makes sense because it's the lower extreme, and that's also called your minimum. Okay, so lower extreme is also called minimum. So what does that mean upper extreme is going to be? Very good. The upper extreme is going to be the highest point. And that's also going to be called what? Your maximum. Very good. So upper and lowers are very easy. It's just your highest point and your lowest point. An outlier is going to be a number that is far above or below a set of data. Remember that outliers can be numbers that are really, really below the rest of the data or really, really above the rest of the data. Now, skewed, we talked about skewed a little bit with histograms, and this basically is just a distribution of data that is either to the left or to the right on a graph, meaning that the majority of the data is either almost all the way on the right or almost all the way on the left, leaving kind of like a little tail. So like an example would be your histograms, where the majority of your data is over here, and then you have a little tail going over there. Okay, so that's what's called skewed right. The majority